I mean, it wasn't necessarily tough. I mean, it's like most of the preparations I've done. It's one of the things that you have to. It's part of your job. It's part of your profession. It's part of, I guess, bigger planning for what's coming up. You can see it as tough. You can see it as something that is acceptable and that it flows. There are certain days that was great. There are certain days that was more challenging, but that's all normal, like anyone else's preparation, to be honest. And I'm excited to play a match. I haven't played many matches on clay. We know that I haven't won this clay season. Is still a match, so I'm. Not in an ideal position from that point of view, but I'm hoping that I can get more than one match here. And coming into Roland Garros, that is obviously the most important tournament for me on clay. Hopefully, I can build my form and be playing better than I have the last month and a half.
Can you tell us a bit more about your split with Andy?
There is nothing more I can tell you than what you have read in our statements. We did say that we are going to not commit to that relationship on a very long term. So we're going to see how it works in a way. For us, it was a test in Australia, and then we agreed that we're going to work. Indian Wells, Miami, and then we're going to see, clay court season was more or less tournament by tournament and see how it goes. So we agreed that we should part ways as coach and player. We felt like we couldn't get more out of that partnership on the court, and that's all there is to it. My respect towards Andy remains the same, even more actually. I got to know him as a person. I think he has a brilliant tennis IQ. He has a very rare mind of a champion that obviously has achieved what he has achieved, and that he sees the game incredibly well. We just, I guess, didn't. How can I say? We didn't reach what we both hoped that we can reach in a relationship in terms of results, and that's all there is to it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We gave it a try, and that's it.
A few days ago, your foundation and Lacoste broke new ground on a really amazing facility. Can you talk a little bit about seeing that project come to life and maybe how that kind of work helps center you as a person and as an athlete?
Sorry. Yes, it was a great project that was done by Lacoste Foundation and my foundation, and I was excited for it as I saw that they've done already projects with Daniil Medvedev, for example, in France, and I think it was Guga Kuerten and so forth, few of the other champions, and those are some of the courts in which I grew up playing junior tournaments, and it's right next to the headquarters of my foundation, and it's a way of giving back to the community, contributing to better and more exciting access to the public courts, tennis and basketball and volleyball actually, and it was a great job done by creative artists, and so it was something that was very close to my heart. Obviously, I always have been and I always will be a proponent of outdoor activities and trying to get young children and young people out on the courts, on the sports, courts, facilities, fields, trying to engage in as many outdoor activities as possible, because there's no better or healthier environment or development for them. So I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm very grateful to Lacoste for accepting to do this project. Hopefully it's not the only one. There's always a lot of places where we could do this, whether it's in my country or elsewhere.
Novak, been quite a challenging couple of months for you with injury and a little bit less success than you're used to. How do you approach that new phase in your career, both mentally and physically?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different chapter of my life, and that I'm trying to navigate myself through. And yes, I'm not particularly used to having this kind of circumstances where I would lose a consecutive matches, tournaments, first rounds, and so forth. I don't think it ever happened for me in like the last 20 years. But you know, I knew that eventually that moment will come. You know, while I'm still active and in the midst of my career, it's kind of hard for me to sit down and reflect on everything I have achieved. But of course, I'm very pleased and proud of my entire career. But I still have, you know, desire to reach the greatest heights and to win slams, and you know, to be one of the best players in the world. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm playing Geneva tournament, because I'm trying to do well. I'm trying to win more trophies. I'm trying to build my form for Roland Garros and perform at the desired, necessary level in order to go far in the tournament and challenge the best players in the world. So yeah, the motivation is still there. It's just that obviously in this transitional period I have to, you know, obviously understand my body and circumstances and what needs to be done in order to preserve the good health and well-being, but also be in an optimal state in the tournaments where I want to perform my best tennis, which are obviously slams, and we talked about it a million times already, and these are the priorities. But of course, wherever I am competing, I want to do well, but slams are, you know, kind of the peak of our sport, the tournaments where I want to be at my best abilities.
Your two last questions?
Yeah, you said you are here in Geneva to build your form, but you also have a special affective link with the city and Geneva. How much was it important for you for coming here? Will you stay some time outside of the court, maybe watch Sarah Geneva, do something else?
Yeah, I do have a family here. They've been living here for many years. My uncle works at Sen. And so my cousins, one of my cousins, she gave birth to a baby that I'm about to see for the first time, and that was actually one of the key factors of why I decided to come and play here, because I like to spend time with the family, extended family that I normally don't see, and I grew up with them, and they are very dear to me and important to me. So I'm gonna actually have my wife and kids come tomorrow as well, and so my parents are here, so it's going to be like a family affair on the stadium tomorrow. You know, we're still negotiating with the organizers to take like half of the stadium for my family for the match. But no, jokes aside, it's a nice moment for me to be able to play the tournament and focus on obviously my work, but at the same time have a good balance off the court and have the family here closest and also extended family members and enjoy the time with them, you know, and take off some of that stress and spend quality time. And then when the time arrives,
2,000 seats.
How many seats?
2,000.
2,000? Not enough. And then then we can obviously enjoy our time as well together and before I leave to Paris.
Your last question?
You talked before about the pressure you put yourself as a tennis player, as a human being, as a public figure. How do you handle the stress that comes with those issues of the star of tennis?
Well, stress and pressure are part of what we do, and it's Billie Jean King said that it's a privilege. You know, pressure is privilege. It really is. It means you're doing something meaningful. You know. Pressures there are some far bigger pressures that people feel in life, so I'm not gonna sit here and complain about my pressures. Far from that. It's still my choice, you know, and it's actually my choice last few years to continue playing tennis more than it has ever been. So, and I still continue to have support of the closest people in my life, which is the most meaningful thing to me. Without that, I wouldn't be probably able to keep still the balance between being available to my family and being involved in other things that are off the tennis court and still be pursuing the tennis career. I know what it takes to be a Grand Slam champion. I know what it takes to be at the top of the game, and it's a big commitment. It's a big dedication, and so it's not as smooth and easy for me as it was 10 years ago. Obviously, things change, and my life has changed a lot, but for better, to be honest. It's just a new chapter that I'm embracing, that I'm, as I said at the beginning, trying to navigate through. I'm still connected to tennis and still want to express myself on the court, and I feel that I still have the game that I can be one of the contenders for the top Grand Slam titles, and for me it's still a great motivation as long as I'm able to perform at that high level. And of course I do have more ups and downs with my results, and we can see that in the last year and a half, and so obviously it's not ideal for me to be experiencing that, but it is what it is. I have to accept it, that my level is maybe not as consistent as it was. Not maybe, it is not. And I know that, but at the same time, I know which tournaments I prioritize and when I want to come out as the best performer in terms of what I have. So that's where I stand.
Thank you.
Who will be the coach now for Wimbledon?
No, with Dusan Vemic, he's actually a Fed Cup captain, but he was part of my coaching team years ago with Marian, and he's here. So he's going to be here with me in Geneva and Roland Garros, and Boris Bosniakovic, who's my assistant coach and analyst as well. So they're both going to kind of share that role for the next couple of tournaments, and then we'll see. I don't have any rush to choose whether I'm going to have someone or not. I don't know. I don't know at this moment. I'm fine with these guys, and I'm happy the way it is, and then we'll see after Paris. Hvala lepo je vratiti se ponovo u Ženevu. Prošle godine sam igrao prvi put ovdje turnir. Tražio sam da ponovo imam nekoliko mečeva uoči Roland Garrosa, s obzirom da sam izgubio u prvim kolima i Monte Carla i Madrida, tako da sam sa timom procenio da je bolje da pokušam da odigram još barem meč ili više na turniru ovde, da bi se što bolje, da kažemo, pripremio za Roland Garros, ono što je najvažnije na sezoni na šljaci. Košutnjaku je bilo lepo, kao što uvek jeste, s obzirom da je lokacija stvarno posebna u smislu i prirode i svega toga. Tereni baš nisu idealni, tako da kažem, ali dobro, to je nešto na što smo i navikli u Beogradu. Ali je lepo biti među svojim ljudima, svojim narodom, nekako uvek mi da neku novu, veću dozu motivacije i snage da guram dalje.
Zavolite se predstavljeni, ja sam Nada iz grada Beograda.
Drago mi je.
Pitanje, vezano, naravno, svako će vas pitati ko će biti sledeći trener. Ja bih to ovako, imate specijalno iskustvo. Međutim,
Kako ste rekli, sledeći trener? Aha, nisam, da, trener. Da.
Ali ne bih pitala to direktno pitanje ko će biti i da li će biti, ali me interesuje kakav ti trener u ovoj fazi karijere je potreban vama? Da li neko sa baš nekim autoritetom ili neko sa kojim imate koji su uspostavili neka teniska hejma s kojim se razumete i koji zna kad treba u kom momentu da vas dovoljno gleda na terenu, da donese urme ako treba, odnekle i bilo šta što vam potrebno?
Dobro, nije to uloga trenera. Naravno, trener, kao i svaki drugi član tima, pomogne drugom članu kada je to neophodno. Trenutno nisam u potražnji za trenera. Mislim da nemam potrebe da žurim u bilo kojem kontekstu toga, osjećam se komfortno sa ljudima koji su oko mene, imam Dušana Vemića koji je ovde, koji je došao iz Amerike, pošto tamo živi, on je sada u Ženevi i Roland Garrosu će biti sa mnom, i Boris Bošnjaković koji je tu kao, da kažemo, analitičar i trener asistent, znači njih dvojica će biti u tim ulogama, delit će tu ulogu u narednih nekoliko turnira, pa ćemo vidjeti posle šta dalje.
Aleksandar Josipović, Radio Beograd, samo pitanje, kratak komentar finala Rima i koliko ti je nedostajao Rim?
Da, video sam kraj prvog seta, samo tih nekoliko gemova i mislim da su igrali na visokom nivou. Alcaraz i Sinner su sada nosioci, da kažemo, našeg sporta. Njihovo rivalstvo je trenutno najveće i mislim da je dobro za naš sport da imamo nove mlade tenisere koji nose tenis kroz svoje rivalstvo i bila je velika anticipacija za taj meč i da kažemo, drago mi je da je to slučaj s obzirom da u zadnjih 20 godina je uglavnom takve neke anticipacije i uzbuđenja za velika rivalstva su uključivala uglavnom na veliku trojku ili da kažemo veliku četvorku koja je dominirala tenisom. Sada imamo nekog drugog, tako da je to odlično, ne smemo zaboravimo naravno Zvereva koji je i dalje tu nadomak broja 1 na svetu, ali u suštini oni su sad najbolji teniseri sveta i lepo je bilo da vidimo kako se nadmeću na najvišem mogućem nivou. Mislim da su igrali na visokom nivou i da je Alcaraz tu prelomio. Na kraju u tom prvom setu osvojiši prvi set i onda je nekako malo popustio u igri Sinner, ono što sam video u početku drugog. Tako da mislim da su zadovoljili barem nivoom tenisa i onim što su ljudi očekivali da vide.